How's that? Finally! Wow. Have I got a loose cable? Hi everyone. Hi Liam. How you doing? Hi everyone in the chat. It was great to meet you, Liam, and so many other people as well on Sunday. This chat has frozen on me. I'll have to open it back up. Hopefully you can all hear me. Hi everyone. Hi Liam. How you doing? Hi everyone in the chat. Oh, come on. Stop that shit. It always does this on me. The bloody chat freezes. I can't see what you're saying. That's better. Hi. Oh, right. Okay. We're back. I finally got you. Sorry, everything froze on me then for a second. Hi everyone. It's been an interesting day. Yellow vest rock, says Pamela. Yes, they do, and I'm expecting to see more of them over in this country over the next few months. I really have. Hope that Gordon can break down the Brexit vote to a Texan level. I will break it down as best as I can. Honestly, nothing's changed. I'll get to that later. It's not even my. Honestly, it's not even the top story today for me. I've got my... yeah, I can... Johnny Storm has just said, F off, Owen Jones made my day. Thanks, Gordon. You know what? I told you the gloves were coming off. I told you the gloves were coming off. I'm sorry, everyone's fair game now. If they're in the media, they're fair game. And I'm not messing about. I'm not messing about. There's nothing personal against them. There's nothing personal against Owen Jones. He just represents part of the problem. And he thinks he's part of the resistance. He's just... First of all, I don't think I've had a video that's had such unilateral support as that. Usually, there are a few comments saying, no, you're wrong, you're absolutely wrong, especially when I'm taking a stance that is totally against what other people are saying on the left and right about... on the left about him anyway. But it seems that video was a hit. And it's not surprising because he's diverting attention away from the 80% of things that we're not getting, that are fucked up, that we all agree we're not getting, and we all agree we need, all of us, across the political spectrum. He's diverting attention away from that, which are the bigger issues, down to the social issues, which are, what, 10% of what we disagree on. We disagree on what, 10% of the things? Forget the 90% that we agree on that needs to be changed. Let's just concentrate on the 10%, and that's what he does. And it doesn't matter whether you're concentrating on, you know, the 90% of stuff that we agree left and right needs to be changed, or the 10% of stuff that we disagree on how it needs to be changed. It doesn't matter. Because 100% of these things are not our fucking fault. They're the same people's fault. So why are we concentrating on it, on attacking each other? You know, somebody said to me, I couldn't, what was it? I couldn't fight with the right because I can't agree with them. It's like, you don't need to agree with them if you're fighting for the same cause, you know? Why let people like Owen Jones and the media divert our attention away from what is really important and that we all agree on, down to the things that cause separation and cause conflict? Why concentrate on those things? Why not concentrate on the things that, you know, they're not talking about? And that's what we've got to do. We've got to concentrate on those things and start blaming the people that caused this clusterfuck that's happening at the moment, not just in the UK, but in the world. You know, it's not the right's fault that we're not getting money in the NHS. It's not the far right supporters who were down there in the yellow vest demanding a Brexit. It's not them. You know, they aren't trying to sell off the NHS. They aren't trying to privatise it. Do you think Conservatives on the right want NHS privatised? Of course they don't. Well, not some of them anyway. But But people like Owen Jones are the problem, is what I'm trying to say. They are the problem, they think they're part of the solution. Because, you know, the thing is, and he doesn't realise this, bless him, he hasn't got a clue. Honestly, I don't think he has a clue. He seems to think everything is a social war. He seems to think everything is a social problem. This is not a social war. You know? It's not a social war, and it isn't about social issues. It's a class war, and it's about class issues. And that's the problem. It's one of the reasons why I think Owen Jones and people like him won't actually address the problem. Because guess which class they're in? You know? Look at the journalists in this country. I'm going to do a video on this later on in the week or next week. And I'm really going to drill down into, you know, who these journalists are at these mainstream media outlets and who these editors are at the mainstream media outlets, and look at them and dissect their history and look at where they were, you know, educated. Because when you actually scratch beneath the surface, they say they're diverse in the media, but they're not. You got black journalists, you got white journalists, you got Chinese journalists, sure. You got Asian journalists, you got, you know, gay journalists, you got the lot. But it's not diverse because they've all been fucking educated from the same system. They all think the same way. You know? It's only diverse socially. It's not diverse by class. And that's the real issue. That's the real issue. It's a class issue, and it's the 99% against the 1% or the 90% against the 10%. It's not left versus right. At least it bloody shouldn't be, and that shouldn't be what we're thinking about. And the thing is, I had this, I had this thought the other day. First of all, you know, don't let them divert their attention away. I mean, that tweet that he did when he was trying to get us all to talk about Islamophobia, don't fucking fall into that. You know, because if you looked at the issues, first of all, we don't want to talk about that. We want to talk about Palestine. We don't want to talk about anti-Semitism. We want to talk about Palestine. We want to talk about Israel's crimes against Palestinians. Israel's anti-Semitic actions against Palestinians, by the way. So if you want to talk about anti-Semitism, fine, we'll talk about that all day. But if you want to talk about smearing anti-Semitism over here, members of the Labour Party, shut the fuck up. We want to talk about Palestine. We want to talk about Venezuela. We want to talk about Yemen. We want to talk about the fact that fucking 1/5 of this country is in poverty. That's what we want to talk about. We don't want to talk about Islamophobia in the Tory party, which is only slightly more than in the Labour Party. Yes, it's slightly more. The media don't concentrate on that, though, do they? No, for 3 years it's been fucking Jeremy Corbyn is an anti-Semitic. It's preposterous. Absolutely preposterous, and the media are doing it non-fucking stop. And you know what? The public aren't buying it anymore. So it's about time we fought back. And I had this thought about people like Owen Jones. It's not about Owen Jones. It's not a direct attack. I've got nothing against the guy himself, nothing at all. But what he represents is a type of journalism that fits into the fucking system that causes the problem. That's the problem. If he thought a different way, he wouldn't have a job at The Guardian. If he thought a different way, if he thought the way I did, he wouldn't have a job at The Guardian. If he really stood up for the working classes, he wouldn't have a job at The Guardian. He has a job at The Guardian because he won't do those things, because he concentrates on social issues and identity politics and virtue signalling and that sort of shit. That's why he's at The Guardian. If he was a good journalist, he would have been purged years ago with the rest of them after the Snowden releases. And the thing that makes me laugh the most about people like Owen Jones is I should have put this in the video. The thing that makes me laugh about people like him is he thinks he's like this big crusader for working class heroes. He's fucking not. I tell you what he is, and people like him, they're the UK's hashtag resistance. That's what they are. The UK's hashtag resistance. Owen Jones and people like him, they're the UK's version of Neera fucking Tanden in the US. That's what they are. Establishment shills. Puppets. Picked because of how they think. Picked because, you know what? They blame the wrong things. They divert attention away from the things that, hey, don't let the people talk about that, for Christ's sake, because we're pissing everybody off with there. Get them to talk about the stuff that divides us. Pathetic. See straight through what they're doing. Straight through. It's time for a new fucking media. That's what it is. Time for a new media. There's something else I thought about earlier with regards to, oh yeah, that was it. If you thought about all this after the video, by the way, that's, you know, I wanted to pump the videos out. I'll tell you why in a minute, but if you actually asked people in the UK, what's the most important issue at the moment for you? Top 3 issues. What is it? And you ask every single person in the UK what that is. Obviously, at the moment, Brexit would be on top, but I dare say then secondary would be health service, third education, fourth fight. You know the drill. And if you were to look at that, anti-Semitism and Islamophobia would probably, I don't know, be quite low on the list. Maybe 15th, 16th. What do you think? But if it's 15th, 16th, Islamophobia and anti-Semitism, why the fuck are we talking about that? Why are we trying to fix that? You know? Yes, it's a problem. Sure, it's a problem. It has to be fixed. But if you fixed issues 1 to 14, nobody would be able to blame Jewish people or Muslim people for fucking anything, because we wouldn't have any fucking problems. So concentrating on that is useless in the fucking first place. But he doesn't see it because he was indoctrinated into the background, and none of them see it. Some of them, sure. Some of them, I reckon, they see it and they just dishonest. I can't say definitively that he's dishonest, but I tell you this, he's part of the fucking problem, and so are the journalists like him, everywhere in the media. Oh yeah, I went on a bit of a rant, didn't I? I told you I've had a good day. The fucking gloves are off. Yeah, so I've been going. Hi everyone, let's go into the chat first. Have you ever read Chav, says Thomas Shepherd? No, I haven't, mate. I haven't. Jamie Rowe. Hi, Jamie. In your opinion, what's the best way to combat neoliberalism? Fucking fight it. You know, fight it. Keep shouting about it. Keep screaming about it. You know, if one or two, if we all scream about, you know, one issue, fart in a hurricane, you know, you're not going to be heard. You might have the same things. If you'll start shouting about the same things, and the same thing being the large transfer of fucking wealth to the 1%, the same thing being the banking system sucking money out of the economy, so we can't have nice things like, you know, healthcare, proper healthcare, and fucking proper education. You know, you look at the way, what was that video I did, that third richest guy in the UK, Solen Strasnik or whatever his name is. He got his knighthood earlier last year. He got his knighthood after giving $1 million, I think it was over £1 million, to fucking Oxford University to have a wing named after him. That's how he did it. Why isn't he giving £1 million to a fucking impoverished school in London? You know, with underprivileged, you know, black children who grow up then in a life of crime and in gangs knifing each other. It's fucking, come on. You know? No, he gives it to the rich motherfuckers over at Oxford University and then gets a knighthood for it. And he didn't just do that, he also gave a shitload of money to the Tate Modern. This is what it's a circle jerk. Rich bastards, that's all they care about. They're indoctrinated in it. They don't have a clue about the issues that you and I face. They don't have a clue at the issues that people on PIP and Universal Credit face with this fucking basically Tory final solution that they've figured out with Universal Credit, refuse to fix and refuse to even acknowledge there's a fucking problem with it. But, yeah, I digress. David Morris, but you don't want to talk about Chechnya or Tibet or the Uyghur because the crimes committed these groups are anti-Western countries. I don't want to talk about Chechnya, Tibet or Uyghur because I haven't got a fucking clue about what's going on over there, mate. I can't know everything about everything. You know, I'm just one man. The BBC don't talk about that. Go and fucking complain to them. One love, no BBC, Sky or CNN, etc. video coverage on Yemen, Venezuela or Yellow Vests. You know what? I've got to show this. I've got this set up, actually. I wanted to show this earlier. You saying that? Look at this. Right, this is all the videos I've done that have been demonetized and then confirmed by manual review. If you look at it, it's all the stuff that I'm telling the truth about that the media are lying about. Every single time. When it's confirmed by manual view, I tell the truth in all of these. I challenge anybody to say I am not telling the truth and I am not based in fact on any of these videos. I challenge anybody to say, you know, find the hate, find the thing. But if you look, Chelsea Manning, cross-Atlantic attempted progressive purge, those were all about anti-Semitism. Chelsea Manning, WikiLeaks, Venezuela, yellow vests. I haven't requested that one. If I requested one, it would go through. That was about the LGBTQ thing. But if you look, any that are confirmed by manual review, there you go, there's Dimmack. Dimmack, confirmed by manual review. Go a bit further down, confirmed by manual review. That was live. I don't know what I was talking about there. Venezuela. Do you see? Anything that I'm talking about and telling the truth on, they demonetize me. Anything that's against the BBC and the mainstream media's narrative with regards to the important issues at the moment that are going on in the world, you know, Syria, with regards to Yemen, with regards to the yellow vest, with regards to Venezuela, they fucking demonetize them every single time. Anything else they demonetize and I ask for a review on, it goes through pretty quick. After 1,000 views, they will manually review it if you ask them. They let those through. But if it's any of those subjects, forget it. YouTube are like, yeah. What we're going to try and do is we're going to try and nudge you into better behaviours by not giving you any money on that and see if you change your rhetoric and then we'll give you money for it. That's fucking what they're doing, as plain as day as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, about them not covering that in the media. Like good word we should use to talk about Israel, we should say apartheid Israel. Yes, Michel Diaz-Nossetti. We certainly should. Apartheid Israel. It is apartheid state. Gordon, how about you dig into the crisis that is send education, mate? It could do with your help, says Zoe Besser. I will try, mate. But honestly, guys, I'm getting a bit frazzled. I've been going since just after Christmas, non-stop, pretty much. If I've took a day off in between, it's been rare. And in the days off that I have taken off, I've been researching. There's not many days that I've really had off in that time. And I'm getting a little bit tired. So I want to get through this week if possible and then have a few days off. So if I do disappear in the next week, don't be too worried. I haven't been... you don't need to go start checking for me in Woods or anything like that. I'll still be tweeting out, you know. I just need to take a break from things and maybe get away for a few days, you know? So that's what. Start lying and get rich, Gordon, says D. Martin. Never, D. Martin, never. Oh, I don't know, Solar the Leftist. Could a post-apartheid ever exist? Well, I'd say, I'm sure it could. You know, South Africa has. We'll see. That's still got its problems there. We'll see. You just got to keep up the pressure. Keep saying apartheid state of Israel. So I want to talk about Brexit, obviously, because we've... This is just... It's ridiculous, Brexit is now. It's honestly, it's a... Was it Dyer said? Danny Dyer? It's a comedy, is what it is. It's a comedy. You remember this? You remember this? You know what this is? As far as I'm concerned, that parrot, that's Theresa May's Brexit deal, right? So essentially, she's took a dead parrot to the Houses of Parliament in December to try and get a dead parrot through as Brexit. And the Parliament went, we're not voting on that. It's a dead parrot. So she's gone, okay, well, we won't vote on it then. I'll pull away. She's come back in January and said, you know, this is our Brexit deal. Can you vote on it, please? The rest of the Parliament have gone, it's a dead parrot. No. And she's gone, no, it's not a dead parrot. And Parliament are like, hello, Polly. Hello. You want a nice little cuttlefish? This is what she did in January. And they went, no, we don't want that. It's a dead fucking parrot. Okay, she said. Gone away and brought it back, the same dead parrot, today, with a little note attached to it saying, this is not a dead parrot. Honestly, this is how I see it. And she has just wasted months. Months. We knew this was dead months ago. We knew it was never going to pass months ago. If you thought, any of you thought that this was going to pass at any stage, shame on you for being propagandized by the BBC or whoever mouthpiece you got it from. It was never going to pass, this wasn't. It's not a Brexit, it's a no Brexit Brexit. I'll show her what she said actually in her speeches. Come on, let's oh dear me. It is a joke. It really is. This whole thing is a joke.
Leaving without a deal remains the default in UK and EU law unless this House and the EU ratify an agreement. I will return to the House to open the debate tomorrow.
First of all, she's saying no deal is the default position at the moment, right? For all you people who expected no deal to go through, it won't, I don't think. I don't think it won't. They're going to have a vote tomorrow on it, okay? But it won't. But that's the next course of action. I'll play this until the end. It's only 1 minute and 17 seconds because I can't stand it. And especially, I love the way she's doing her best Tom Perez impression after all her talking, no doubt, over these last 3 months. Trying to tell people, it's not a dead parrot, honestly. Look, he moved. She might as well be standing up there going, we lead with our values, and when we lead with our values, we win. Anyway.
And to take interventions from honourable members, and to ensure the House is fully informed in making this historic decision. The Government will tomorrow publish information on essential policies which would need to be put in place if we were to leave without a deal. These will cover our approach to tariffs and to the Northern Ireland border, among other matters. If the House votes to leave without a deal on the 29th of March, it will be the policy of the Government to implement that decision. If the House declines to approve leaving without a deal on the 29th of March, the Government will, following that vote, bring forward a motion on Thursday on whether Parliament wants to seek an extension to Article 50. If the House votes for an extension, the Government will seek to agree that extension with the EU and bring forward the necessary legislation to change the exit date commensurate with that extension. But let me be clear. Voting against leaving without a deal and for an extension does not solve the problems we face.
So that's Theresa May there, you know, laying out the what's going to happen next scenario. So there's going to be a vote tomorrow on the no deal, whether a no deal can get through, which won't get through. I'd be amazed if that got through, which essentially takes no deal off the table, which will lead to the next day Article 50 getting extended. However, the EU have said very strong language saying we must know that there's a proposal here going forward. They'll figure something out. The EU don't want a no-deal Brexit either. So here's Corbyn's response. Thought I'd give Corbyn's response as well as being as I've given May's, you know, setting out the criteria for what happens next. So here's what JC said afterwards.
The government has been defeated again by an enormous majority, and they must now accept their deal, their proposal, the one the Prime Minister has put, is clearly dead and does not have the support of this House. And quite clearly, no deal must be taken off the table. We've said that before, and we'll say that again. But it does mean the House has got to come together with a proposal that could be negotiated. The Labour Party has put that proposal, and we will put that proposal again, because the dangers of what the Prime Minister is proposing are basically that she carries on threatening us all with the danger of no deal, the danger of that, knowing full well the damage that will do to the British economy. This party will put forward our proposals again, which are about a negotiated customs union, access to the market and protection of rights. Those are the ones we'll put forward. We believe there may well be a majority for them, but there will also be the potential of negotiating them. The Prime Minister has run down the clock, and the clock has been run out on her. Maybe it's time instead we had a general election and the people could choose who their government should be.
So there's JC's response, and they're now obviously keep pushing for a general election, you know. And now all the Blairites in his party, you know, after making him push for a second referendum, which has lost him support and made me lose my shit with him in one video, they're now pushing for a general election as well. I heard when May was actually doing her speech, I heard Emily Thornberry say, "General election," you know. Come on. You've been pushing for that now, Blairites, you know? You're there to sabotage him, is what you are. We know this. We know what you're doing now. Come on, the mask is off. It's really obvious what you're doing. You're not there to get Jeremy Corbyn in power. You're there to stop him. You're there to get him out. That's what your whole shtick is. And this is why I've been so pissed off since September, when this mandatory reselection thing, you know, this ball started rolling. We had a hope that these Blairites in the party were going to face some sort of primary. There won't be enough chance now if there's a general election. There won't be enough chance. There very well could be a general election. There won't be enough time to get these Blairites out. You know, what happens then? I don't believe that Theresa May will run in another general election. I don't believe the Tories will let her. Not after losing her majority in the last one, in the snap one she called in 2017. So it's all up in the air still, but I'm still absolutely certain as to what's going to happen, and that's going to be an extension of Article 50 the day after tomorrow, and then another push for a second referendum, because as I keep pointing out, the EU, if you vote anything against the EU, it's never implemented. They either ignore it or they make you vote again. It's happened every time. And this is going to happen this time. The reason, of course, is because, listen, you can't have a Brexit. You can't have this no-deal Brexit either. You can't have that. The reason they won't let you have it is because it breaks up the United Kingdom, or leads to the very possibility of the breakup of the United Kingdom, and no Prime Minister is going to do that. And also, if you notice, both days I think there was a vote on. It happened in January. There was a report in the BBC about packages sent from the IRA, or, you know, that came from the IRA. Just reminding people, you know, do we know that definitely came from the IRA, or is that something that's been put there for political reasons by other people and blaming them? We don't know. Do we know for sure? Because if we don't know for sure, you shouldn't be fucking putting that in your news, because that's just blatant fear-mongering, that is. They won't have a conversation about Ireland, so they have to do all this shit where they're kicking it down the road. They won't have that conversation. I've been saying it all along. And you know what? All along so far, I've been right. And if you just take the stance and you look at how their actions for the last 2.5 years, everything they have done for 2.5 years has been to frustrate this and kick it down the road. Everything. Absolutely everything. So we'll see going forward. I cannot see a no-deal Brexit happening. I think that will get absolutely annihilated tomorrow, and then we can see Articles 50 on Thursday, and then we'll go from there. But until then, I don't think anything has changed. I really don't. I think that's everything I want to cover on that, everyone. Yeah, everything I want to cover on it. That's the situation as I see it. I'm not going to have a long stream tonight, by the way. I think I've done about 11, 12 hours already, so I'll just say hello to you all in the chat and whatever. I don't think I've got any other things I need to talk about today. Let me just check. Yeah, that's pretty much everything done, I think. Yeah, that's everything I wanted to cover. Hi, everyone. Doug Fraser says, walk away, no deal, we won't die. I mean, what they're going to do tomorrow, Doug, is they're going to essentially take off the table the closest thing to a Brexit that people voted for in 2016. They're going to take that off the table. That's what they're going to vote down. We'll see if that's the spark that leads to yellow vests, shall we? I'm still waiting for it. Something's going to happen. People are angry and pissed off. I am. You are. At what is happening to, you know, it's an absolute pantomime down there. You know, it's a pantomime. Every time my MP says something on Twitter, I leave a comment just asking her a question to see if she responds. Does she? Never. There's only ever 1 or 2 comments on it. Never responds. Send her a letter. Never responds. Why are you pushing? Why are you pushing for a second referendum, Emma, when your constituency voted 2-1 to leave? Why? You work for us, remember? I keep asking that. No. Just carries on. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. This... I'm ready for a revolution. I swear to God I am. I'm so ready for a revolution. Watson will never be leader of Labour, says Nicky. No, he won't. Watson will never be leader of Labour. You're not going to get Tom Watson, the leader of the largest socialist movement in Europe. You're not. Forget it. You are correct, Nicky. Well said. Wasn't the Daily Record? It wasn't the IRA Daily Record full of it, says Johns. I don't know what you mean by that, Johns enough, but what I'll say is this: you know, don't put anything past the bastards. You know what I mean with that? Don't put anything past them. They've got a track record of doing shit like this in the past that we found out years later. Don't put it past them to start doing stuff to fucking scare people. And that's all I say about it. And it sounds like Forrest Gump. And that's all I say about that. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. You need a pint, mate. No, I don't, Robert. Robert Hickey says you need a pint, mate. No, I can't drink anymore. You saw what happened last week when I had a drink in between the live stream. I was a fucking mess an hour later. It wasn't making any sense. Hey Gordon, have you asked the man George Galloway on your show, says Barry Boy 10? No, I haven't. I only met him briefly. I met him briefly on Sunday. I just said, really, just thanks very much for being a hero and whatever. And he says, I follow you on Twitter. And we had a quick conversation. That was it. You know, he was doing stuff. He was doing, you know, speeches, and I was obviously mingling and what have you. So we didn't have a chance. And he'd gone before, you know, I had a chance to have a conversation with him. I will ask him one day if he, you know, I'm only a small YouTube channel now, even though he's a great guy. We'll see. But no, I haven't yet. Get rid of the Blairites, then call an election, says W. Leon. In an ideal world, that would be the way forward. They're going to make it as difficult as possible to do that, though. That's for sure. Because that would remember their whole shtick is to keep Corbyn out of power. Keep that largest socialist movement in Europe out of power. That's what their whole shtick is. Bubblegum shrimp. Says Mission. Don't get me started. That's shrimp and potatoes. Got 3 shrimp today, Lieutenant Dan. But you ain't got no legs, Lieutenant Dan. Boris has completely disappeared. I wonder why. Yeah, he has. He's very quiet now, isn't he, buddy? You are correct. Seamus says, keep your chin up. I'm okay, Seamus. I'm a happy guy, but I do need a break. I'm not getting miserable or anything like that. I'm just getting frazzled, you know? I'm just a little bit tired and I need a break just to recharge the batteries. It won't be long, only a few days. RG is cheap to take out. Mental footnote acquired, lol. Yeah, Joe. Thank you, Joe Hickey. You are correct. I am a cheap date. I'm just getting down to the bottom of the comments. George would go on your show, Gordon. He's very obliging, says Palmine. I hope he would. I get on with him. He seems to, he knows I'm on the right side of the argument as well. We disagree on a couple of things, but nothing major. I hope he would, but at the moment, I'm trying to get. I'm not going to be able to do that this week. I wanted to get an economist on. I'm running out of time now. I do what I can, you know, to try and get that economist that I want to get on. I'm trying to hold out for the one I really want. We'll see. What about the yellow movement in the UK, says Michelle. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. You'll see. What's the date? There's one in about a month from now that I know about. I'll talk about that closer to the day, closer onto the day. It's coming. They can't keep doing this and not expect the people to come for them, because they will. The people will come for them. They're fucking everybody over left and right. It doesn't matter. There's no point in arguing about the 10% you disagree on with the other side. Because you know what? The fucking elites that are causing that shit too. So how about we start diverting attention away from the people who's not fault any of this shit is, and start blaming the correct people. And that'll be the people in power. That'll be the bankers. That'll be the neoliberals. Thank you, One Love. That's very nice of you. Thank you. You don't have to be a Labour MP to be in Labour Friends of Israel. No, you don't. No, you don't. Pam Ryan is still the Labour chair of Israel. She's still Labour Friends of Israel chair, I believe. At least she was last week. And I haven't heard anything to say that she's left. She's still the chair of it. How many Labour members are in it now? If I remember right, I know Tony Blair's in it. Yeah? You go down the list, there's quite a few of them, especially in the House of Lords and shit like that, you know? You got to get these MPs out. You got to get them out. You got to kick Tony Blair, he's a war criminal, out your party. When you do that, maybe people like me will say, hey, that party has got morals. That party is run by the people, not by the bureaucrats, because at the moment, it's still run by the bastards. It's still run by the Blairites. They're the ones actually frustrating everything. They're the one with the keys to number 10, you know? They're the ones stopping Corbyn. Focus the anger at them. Forget the Islamophobia shit that people like Owen Jones are trying to... Yes, it's a problem. I'm not saying it's not. But like I say, it's number 15 on the list. Solve the first 14 fucking things and then nobody's got any cause to blame Muslims for anything. Blair is scum, says Wolfie Smith at the bottom. You know what? I'm going to leave on that. You're right, Blair is scum. I want to show this, actually, guys. I want to show this. I want to thank somebody as well. I want to show this. I think I can. I'm sure he'll like it. I'm sure he'll. Let me just hold on a minute. So I need to thank. I'm sure he's going to be watching as well, because I know I told him on Twitter. I need to thank a guy called Alan Myron, who's a subscriber for this, because he sent this in, and I want to thank Rachel Pirani as well for getting my attention on this. I wanted to show it last week, but I forgot all about it. So this is Alan Myron, and he's done sort of like a fan video of independent media talking about Tulsi Gabbard, and I want to show you this because it's brilliant. And well done, Alan. Let me just set this up properly first. Transform. Hit the screen. So, well done, Alan Myron, for this. I love this. Enjoy. Start that again.
That is Tulsi Gabbard.
I have to admit, I always thought Tulsi Gabbard was extra smart.
See that lady right there? That is Tulsi Gabbard.
Tulsi Gabbard, the United States representative from Hawaii.
Today, Tulsi Gabbard is officially announcing that she's running for president.
So Tulsi Gabbard released one of her first ads of...
There is a serious lack of anyone really laying out a truly progressive foreign policy vision, with the exception of one person, Tulsi Gabbard.
The establishment is going to learn to stop playing around with Tulsi Gabbard.
Okay, so let's take a look at how the media is treating Tulsi Gabbard.
So what does this have to do with Gabbard? Well, Gabbard's positions are very similar to Bernie. Tulsi Gabbard went on Morning Joe the day after Donald Trump's State of the Union speech.
So today we're going to debunk this whole notion that Tulsi Gabbard, the candidate for president of the United States, is somehow supporting far-right Hindu nationalists in India.
As this story says, establishment figures on both right and left are scrambling to smear the anti-war congresswoman with impeccable identity politics bona fides.
Tulsi Gabbard is the only anti-war candidate right now for president in 2020, and that includes Donald Trump.
Being attacked unfairly by corporate media, someone has to set the record straight. What's happening with Tulsi? And
she obviously knows what she's talking about. I'm persuaded. I'm on Tulsi's side now.
I was hoping that she was going to be the next president back in 2017. So when she announced, I was very happy. But she is going to get attacked more and more and more. How cool was that? Well done, Alan. That's great. Let me just what's your Twitter handle, Alan? So if you want to tweet that out, at Alan Myron. There he is, up there. Oh shit, one way. At Alan Myron. Well done, mate. That was brilliant. And it's good to see all the independent media talking honest about it as well, and they're really trying to get to the bottom of things and get to the facts, especially with the smears with regards to, you know, there's loads of people talking about the India stuff and the gay stuff and what have you. It's the independent media. It's those voices you heard up there on YouTube and stuff like that. They're the people who are telling the truth with regards to all of these politicians. The mainstream media, they're the ones who are lying about everything. They're the ones that are promoting these smears as truth. We've got to change it. And you know what? I don't think it's going to be reform, the media. I really don't. Too big. You look at the BBC, you look at how big it is. If you include the BBC World Service and BBC Russia and BBC France and BBC America and all these different things, and then Radio WM, Radio Shropshire, Radio London, etc., 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 and then you got the BBC and all the BBC reports and the BBC website, and it's massive. It's huge. I don't think it's reformable. I don't think it is. We need to smash it into a million pieces along with the rest of the fucking media and install the people that you saw in that independent media as the fucking planet's source of information. Because they're the ones who are telling you the truth. They're not the ones who are propagandizing and lying you into regime change wars that have cost over 100 million lives, I think, since World War II. I seem to remember that figure. There's an article I saw in the World Socialist website that depicted how many people have been killed in regime change wars that America have been involved in the last 70 years. It's millions. Millions. Wars based on lies. Wars based on propaganda. Wars based on fucking resources of the planet. Wars based on oil. The very thing that is choking us out of our fucking existence. Don't you think we should detach the fucking world's reserve currency from the very thing that is choking our existence to live on this fucking planet? Don't you think that'd be a good idea? What chance do you think the BBC have got of actually covering that fucking idea? None. It's time for a new media. Those independent voices that you just saw, they're the ones who need your support. Help them if you can. Share their work. Support them on Patreon, all of them. When I drop this video, I'll leave a link to everybody that you saw on that. I'll leave a link to their YouTube channel. Go and support them. Subscribe to them. All of them. Whether you agree with them on everything or not. Concentrate on different points of views. Concentrate on getting the information from the places you trust. And beat this motherfucking media into a pulp. Because if we don't, I honestly fear for humanity. We will get to the stage where it's another 5, 6 years down the line, and you know what? Still, nothing has been done. Half of that time that we've got left to fucking reverse the way we live on this planet, to ensure that our generations carry on and have children down for the next century. You think it's bad? You haven't got kids now. Your grandchildren might not be able to exist because of climate change. Think about it. If you haven't got kids now, you might not ever have grandkids because of climate change. Just fucking think about that. Do you see the government doing anything about it? No. They're down in Westminster playing pantomime. It's a load of bollocks. If we leave them to their own devices, we're going to have half the time left that we have to actually change what we do radically, and still fuck all we'll have got done. We've got to change it, and it's urgent. Your ancestors, your future descendants, fucking rely on it. Support independent media. Those voices you saw up there, they're the people you can trust. All right, guys. Thank you for the super chat mission. Tulsi's authenticity is compelling. Wish we had someone with her courage. Love that woman. Me too. I do. She's very smart. She's very measured in her answers. The town hall she did, I will cover at some stage. It probably won't be this week because I'm really concentrating on. Oh shit! I've got something in my pocket that's. Oh, that's something in my pocket that was sticking in my groin. Yeah, what was I saying? Tulsi, wasn't I? Yeah, I'll cover her town hall. I don't know whether I'll get a chance this week, but I will break it down next week because I really want to break down not just Tulsi's answers, but also the framing. And also, you know what? There's talks of more plants as well in the CNA audience. So I want to get to the bottom of that and really fucking dismantle it. I want to start doing this both sides of the Atlantic, really concentrating on the media. Because we've got to hold it accountable. Nobody else is. Nobody else is. You think the media are going to self-regulate? Are they fuck? They're going to keep propagandizing and lying to you. And more wars are going to be started, and more death, and more destruction, and more famine. It's just going to carry on and on and on. We need to start fucking listening to the educated people on this planet. We need to start listening to, you know, the professors and the teachers and the historians and the scientists, and listening to these people instead of Owen fucking Jones telling us Islamophobia is the real problem that we have to concentrate on. Yeah. People saying that sort of shit, you can fuck right off. I'm sorry about I'm sorry about my swearing if anybody's offended. But you know what? I'm angry now. I'm just angry. Gloves are off. Get some sleep, Gordon, says one love. You know what? I'm going to go now. I'm going to go, everybody. I'm going to smoke a bowl for word peace, says one love. I will do. Thank you very much, everyone. Thanks very much for all your support. I couldn't do this without you. We cannot do it without you, without your help in independent media. And you know what? These media giants, they are going to silence us eventually because the governments are going to batter them with that stick of regulation and threaten them with that until they finally deplatform us and demonetize us entirely. It's going to happen. We need your support. Thanks very much for it. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Thank you to everybody I met as well on Sunday at the Julian Assange visual. I have got all the photos and videos from that, but as I'm saying, I'm leading up to it. I'll probably be dropping that later on in the week. I've got other videos to come tomorrow on the media, etc. And we'll go from there. Thanks very much for all your support. Peace out, everybody. Love you.